Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to episode 16, season 2 of the Prosperous Yogini Podcast. Got a slightly different one for you this week, so forgive me if the sound quality is not as sharp as it normally is, or the video quality, if you're watching on YouTube, isn't as sharp as it normally is. I am sharing a pre-recorded excerpt from the Q&A session that I did last week from off the back of the Energetics of Selling Masterclass. It is a brilliant snippet. First of all, I cover why you should start an online membership, how to price up a low-cost offer, and the pitfalls of having a low-cost offer if you only have a small audience to sell it to. And then I have a wonderful conversation with a yoga teacher who's trained to be a Pilates teacher, and how to navigate those changes, how to have an identity shift without sinking into branding procrastination, aka I need a new website, I need new hex colors, and all of this needs to happen before I make any offers. I know you've been there, I've been there, we've all been there. I also want to share with you, I think the clip is going to speak volumes, so I'm not going to talk for much longer, what it's like to work with me more closely. Okay, I'm saying this a lot at the moment, and I think it's because I'm really feeling that deep desire every day even more to make a change in the world. And for me, I know that change comes when more women are doing what lights them up, helping people and making more money. And I know you want that. I know you want that, particularly if you listen to this podcast every week, right? And I know the podcast is going to help you, but it's only going to take you so far. The free stuff only takes you so far. What you need to do is hit the buy it now button. Because when we hit the buy it now button, we make that commitment. So I appreciate, my energy, mindset, money, more course might not be for you right now. But like just hit the buy it now button somewhere. Make that commitment to change. Okay, I'd love it to be with me. I'd love it to be on my program, Energy, Mindset, Money, and More. And if you're listening to this episode after the cut is closed, which is Wednesday the 2nd of October at 9 p.m, do check out both amyyoga.com, amyjonesmentor.com, see what I'm currently offering, right? And whatever it is, hit the buy it now button. You and I need to work more closely together. Okay, there comes a point when the free stuff has got you so far, right? And you have to commit to the change, however uncomfortable it may feel. Both if it's a financial, like, oh my God, I'm not sure I can afford this. I've been there so many times. And interestingly, whenever I make that commitment, the money comes. Or it is the fear of change. I want this, but I'm not sure I can do it. I want this, but I'm not sure I'm ready. I want this, but I'm not sure it's going to happen for me. Look, I felt that too. But the thing is, when you hit the buy it now button and you get someone like me on your team, it is incredibly hard to fail. All right, my darlings. So the link to the new course is in the show notes. Cart closes on the 2nd of October. Enjoy the Q&A session, and I will see you all next week. Leads me into my first question, which I kind of did on purpose. Lucy's question. So I know Lucy really well. She's in my mentorship program. So she has an in-person business, teaching in person, and she's just taken that big, brave leap to go full-time in her business. And she's quite rightly asked this question. I'm thinking of setting up an online membership. And she has put in brackets for maybe part in person. And the question really is, what comes first, chicken or egg? What comes first? Do I decide on the price of my online membership, or do I decide on the offer? So Lucy suggested £22 per month could be the online membership. Or do I create the offer and create the package and then decide the price? So it kind of doesn't matter which way round. And I understand why we might lean towards a lower price membership, because £22, if you divide that by 4, it's £5.50 a week. It's the price of coffee and cake. So if I was to, whatever it is, if I'm selling my online membership, I can say, listen, why don't you stop going to Starbucks once a week? I'm talking to myself and my daughter now. Why don't you stop going to Starbucks once a week? Just hold off once a week from one coffee and cake and join my membership, and I can bring in the change that you seek. Okay, so it's a great price point. The other thing about like round about this £22 price point, there are other price points within this, that if there's 1 month where I'm like really busy and I don't engage, I might not go, oh, I'm not doing that anymore, and cancel. I've run a couple of online memberships, and what I've noticed is sometimes people will join and don't partake in it, but don't cancel. And the reason they've joined because they've said they want to do the change. They've not yet got round to committing to the change, but the financial commitment is step one. At some point, they'll hit a point where like, oh my God, I've been paying Lucy for 12 months now. I've given her, over £200. I've not done anything with it, but I want to do something with it. So I'm going to engage. Or I've given her over £200. I've not done anything with it. I'm going to cancel. Either way, it's kind of not our problem. So I get that lower price point. The challenge you're going to have at £22 per month is I can't see how you could do anything in person, Lucy, at that price point. So big red line through the in-person idea. The challenge you have, right? Like, and I'm just going to be upfront with everyone on this online world malarkey, because nobody talks about this. So you can go on Instagram, you can scroll through, and there's all these coaches out there like promising you 5-figure, 6-figure launches and so on and so forth, right? What they don't tell you is, like alluded to it a bit on Monday night, is conversion rates. Okay, so that is literally how many people do I have on my email list, right? That is a representation of how many people might buy into my offers, all right? So I can't give you an exact figure, but like on average, it's 2 to 10%, like on average, right? So if you have 100 people on your list and you launch an online membership and 10 people buy it, you're doing really well. Okay, now it's not just the people on our email list that's going to be buying this, and the people who are going to initially buy this. And this is what I want you to start thinking about in terms of creating offers. The people who are going to initially buy are already in your world. Super fans, they probably have already bought something. So when I think about creating offers, you've got to think of 2 places. Why am I doing this? What is it I want to achieve? And how will it work for me? And 2, what do I have that's already in front of me? So do I have people that come into class once a week, that want to practice a bit more, can't get to the studio anymore, can't afford to get to the studio anymore? Could I create some form of online community that they could be part of as well? And then like I'd say, I'd do my class, do my hot yoga class, and then at the end of it be like, if you want to practice more and you want support with your home practice, don't forget you can join my X. Yeah. The lower the price is, the more you have to sell, the longer you have to be in it. So I think, and I think it's just a test. So Lucy, are you on the call? You don't have to unmute. Other people will see and hear you, so you just have to be happy with that if you unmute. Does that help, darling, in terms of like formulating some ideas?
Yes, thank you. Definitely does, especially the red line under the in-person part element. Definitely, it's not worth my time physically every week. But I'm not sure how much would be a reasonable amount. What sort of exchange would people want in return? Like a weekly recorded class, would that be enough? Or a recorded meditation once a fortnight to go with it? That's the bit I'm kind of really, I don't want to give away too much. And actually I'm learning that less is more in lots of ways. So it's what they feel is a reasonable exchange for them as the client and the paying client. So, how much of my energy I need to put into it.
I mean, you've answered the question. I was literally going to say less is more. And I would say when it comes to the online world, less is more. Like with my new program, I've had to like rein myself in. It started off as like an epic like novel, and the coach that I'm working with, she's like, you got to bring people to the results that they want quicker, because we're all time pushed. When we talk about the online world and people being able to practice at home, that hour class that people are willing to do in the studio gets 30 minutes at home. So I think you've got to think what the goal of it is. Like, I can give you some examples. So like there's a lady who teaches a weekly online class, yoga class, And it's literally a 45-minute class. She delivers it live on a Monday night, and then she sends around the Zoom link replay, and that's available for the week. And people just pay like a subscription, like it's £20 a week. And like if she's away, then they've got the recording for the previous week. It can be that simple, or it can be a little bit more, probably what I would lean to, knowing what I know about your business. Like you've got a group of people who love doing yoga with you in person, and love sort of like the hot and the powerness of it all. Like, how do I translate what the experience I get in the studio to something I do at home? So it could be a pre-recorded class, or it's almost easier, like maybe even to just do a weekly live class, half an hour, and then that's their practice for the week. Yes, you could add in, like I've done it before where I did like 2 weekly live classes. This was lockdown, so I had more time. 2 weekly live classes, and I had a breath work of the month and meditation of the month. I think keep it simple. The price point comes down to what you're offering. And I think like if it is all self-paced, pre-recorded, and you're building up a library, you'd see that range from like £9 to sort of like £25. If it's got an element of live, you see that ranging from £20 to £50. Being in it for the long game is what, with this type of stuff, is what is really useful. I know you will have heard this before, Lucy, but I'll cite the example of, I was on it was a low cost membership for $9 a month for email marketing, and for that she gave one email template a month and did one call, which was like a question session, and it was $9, and she had 2,500 people. She was making 24 grand a month off this $9 membership. So for her, that was her business. For you, it's given your audience size, given the nature of your business, it's like it's an add-on into the offer suite. And it would be nice, like, wouldn't it be nice if they were like, you were around that £22 mark, you decided the offer comes from what works for me, and 10 people came in and there's consistent income of £220 a month, and 20 people come in and there's consistent income of £440 a month. And I know I had a lady who created a wellbeing membership. She had 10 people come in, and then she got really poorly and she had to stop her in-person offerings. And in the month that she was poorly, that membership just was like a godsend for her. So test and learn. I also know you're doing, correct me if I'm wrong, a counselling course, like,
coaching.
Yeah, a one-to-one package, which is more expensive. You only have to sell one, two, could be, I mean, this is like, entering into offer suites, which we will create in the program. Mm-hmm. But, that's a way of like more easily selling when you have a smaller audience. The last thing I would say is sometimes it can help to survey your current clients and then do like a poll on Instagram, because we assume that people are coming to our classes who are going to buy this, but there might be a few people lurking around your world that live nowhere near you, and the minute you do an online offer, they're like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I mean, last thing, we're looking at like the window that we're heading into, like a great time to launch this would be January, and capture that like New Year's sort of like vibe. But looking forward to seeing it come to fruition. Always comes down to, if you don't go, you don't know, test it. Don't over deliver. Because that's what everyone does, and then they're like, why did I say I'd do all of this for £5 a week? So just before I dive into a few other questions, I wanted to share some wins, because there's already been some good stuff off the back of Monday night's call. I spoke to someone, I will keep them anonymous. I spoke to someone who's a graphic designer, and she said, I took your advice on follow-ups, and she said, actually, I took your advice and used WhatsApp to follow up because it's so much more personal. And she followed up, I think about 9 inquiries, and about 7 people have come back and said yes. So that's the power of following up. We assume when people don't respond to us that they're not interested, right? But just that gentle nudge, can I help you with anything else? If there's any more information, I'd love to work with you. Just that little bit of extra energy behind what you're doing gives that person the confidence to go, yes. Remember, they might be unsure about the investment. And when it comes to like a graphic design, not an interior designer, she was an interior designer. When it comes to interior design, like, well, I want to change my house. I want it to look differently. I don't know what to do. That's why I'm going to interior designer. And now I'm worried that they might do something I don't like. But now I've had more contact with her, I feel more confident in saying yes. So, even that unsureness around buying comes up in that type of business. And then I had someone say to me that off the back of Monday's night's call, she has eventually now got the confidence to actually tell people about her counselling services. So she's a trained counsellor, she's got counselling services, and tell surprise, she's not selling anyone because nobody knows about it. You've got to tell people, and we lack confidence and we hide away because we're worried what people are going to say about us. And like, honestly, if they're not there on your deathbed, I don't know why you're worrying about them. It's like one of my mantras, like, just, I don't know, remember, it's come with age, but I now like don't really care too much what people think. I just am going to carry on doing what feels right for me. And if I fail, I'll fail spectacularly. And actually, I don't believe I can fail. I can get things horrifically wrong and things cannot turn out as planned. But I just see that as learning opportunities. I'm not a huge fan of too many business and marketing books that have been written by men. I much prefer the ones that are written by women because I think men don't quite understand what it is like to be a woman, and vice versa. But Stephen Bartlett's The Diary of a CEO, there's some great stuff in there. And he talks about he hired ahead of failure. Like, it was so important to him that their company failed, that he hired ahead of failure who would, look at the failings and use them. So often we hold ourselves back. We're worried what people are going to say. We're worried we're going to fail. And in the end, we don't end up doing what is calling us from deep within our heart and helping those people that will be blessed to work with us. Okay, so going on to Emma's question. Great question about social media. I love this question. I'm just going to read it out. A question that always puzzles me with social media is this. I have a lot of followers, mainly from when I made and sold products and went to market. Probably around 10 to 30 who look at my posts, a few who engage and comment on my posts. I've never received any work through Instagram, but Facebook more so. It makes no sense to me to have so many people looking at my posts, but never engaging any further. What I was wondering is, those people who like my posts, who make general comments, are those the people that perhaps I should be sending direct messages to and telling them about my offers? Most of my clients over the years have come off the back of my husband's client base, word of mouth, and when we ran a wellbeing centre 10 years ago. Since having children, home educating, my client base has diminished, and it's tricky to rebuild and attract clients that I want to work with and want to work with me. Although I do feel I need to email my pre-pandemic clients to know what's new. I know that would be a good place to start. Okay, so I'm going to work in reverse, Emma. Absolutely. Email your pre-pandemic clients now. Like with an email saying, hi, it's been 4 years. This is what's changed. I'd love to work and support with you again. Like, I think there's a lot here, in terms of Emma, of like just expecting people to know. We have to be like a megaphone, right? Because there's so much information that comes people's way. We have to be like a megaphone. Almost, it will feel like we're shouting into people's faces about what we do. Honestly, you're not. Like, you see everything. You see all your marketing endeavors. Your people see a tiny percentage of it. So 100% email your pre-pandemic clients, and yes, let them know what's new. And if there is a new offer and they're your existing client base, I'm always like, is there a special offer for them? We are always looking out to, I need more followers, new people. Yet in front of us are our super fans that I think we need to look after and nurture. And then if you have a new product or a new offer, Like, what is the special offer I can give to them? How can I acknowledge the fact that they're pre-existing clients and we already have a relationship, and actually they're the people I want to work with? I think obviously seeing life, there's a lot going on in your life, children, home education. And I think this is one of the things that is not spoken about at all when it comes to women and business. And I'm obviously coming from a female perspective, not a male perspective here, but we have often choose or have children, and the energetic caring responsibilities of those children, do often predominantly fall to women. Like this is a criticism of my husband, but I do the school runs for my little girl. He's incredibly supportive in other ways, but that is an energy you will never get me on a live call at 8:30 or 3:30 on a weekday. I can't do it. I'm doing the school run. Okay. We also have whether we have children or not, we also have other energetic responsibilities. Perhaps it's elderly parents. I'm going to say pets are an energetic responsibility. We tend to be natural carers. We tend to be the people that give our energy. And then our business requires our energy. What in reality is the energy that I can give to my business now? Can I stop telling myself I'm not good enough, I'm not ready, I should be further along, I should have done more, when actually I am absolutely smashing it, given all the things in my life that I am doing? Also, can I look at what my available energy is and be very, very clear on how I want to work, when I work, and how often I post on social media? So then coming to social media, there's a lot here. And this is like, a big invitation to you, Emma, to come into the program, because this is the sort of stuff that we'll dive a lot deeper into. But just to summarize, I think we see changing behavior all the time on social media. People are actually engaging less on posts. It doesn't mean they're not seeing them. So we're seeing a reduction in comments, a reduction on likes, and we're seeing that share. Remember, share and save for later. You're not seeing people invite you to do that anymore. The reason being is because no one is. Like, people's behavior in Instagram has changed. We're seeing a lot more scrolling. Your stories are where your powerhouses is, where your super fans are. So don't take it personally that no one's engaging or in posts. If you've never got work for Instagram, you've got to ask yourself, have I sold on Instagram? Have I, directed people to my offers? Have I shared a link in my story? Yes, when someone comments, do I then, if you feel aligned, so that, some people there's nothing worse than jumping to people's DMs. Some people love it. So let's say you share a post about one of your products and someone comments and says, that looks amazing. There's nothing stopping you dropping into your DM saying, I noticed my product caught your eye. If you feel it's for you, here it is. That's, very aligned, sharing a beautiful product. So you've got to be more intentional, I would say, with your use on Instagram. And we can get a bit and this has come from advice, on your Instagram, every third post should be a selling post. So build connections, share value, sell. And I'm like, bollocks, right? Turn off on Instagram, tell people who you are, how it is you can help them, and sell. It can all happen in one post. What are we really using Instagram for? As a platform to show my face, to show my voice. So yeah, people want to hear and see you, to say energetically, this is who I am. Are you interested in it? You've definitely, I think you answer your own question, definitely to sell more on Instagram. So be leveraging that links in the bio, direct people to your offers, use your stories to talk about your offers. You can even have the link. So I'll often follow me next week when I'm selling my program. I'll have the screenshot of my program in the background, and I'll have my finger doing this on a link. Come and join here. The one thing I want you all to know about these selling posts is they're the ones that are going to get the least amount of engagement. I could post a picture of pancake and people will go wild. That's my golden retriever. That's my golden doodle, right? I'll post a picture of me post surfing. People love it, right? I went to Switzerland the other week. People love the fact I went dipping in Lake Geneva, right? And then you're like, what has that got to do with selling? Not a huge amount, other than look, I've taken the bold move to go and run international training in Switzerland. I got on the plane without my kids by myself. That was quite big for me. That was scary. I took the action. Now I will sell you my program. But the engagement is really, really different. So I do think, and we do look at using the data and leveraging the data within the program. I do think that matters, but I actually post on Instagram for a complete place of non-attachment. I'm like, it's my party, and you can come if you want to. And if one post gets loads of likes and comments, yeah, sure, it gives me a dopamine spike, right? If one post is like one like and nobody responds, I'm like, fine. I have no idea how many people have seen it. And it all adds up to the collective momentum, which is what marketing is all about. But definitely, Emma, definitely start talking to your clients in your DMs, definitely start leveraging your stories, and definitely start directing very, very clearly, clear call to action. Here it is, you want it, type vibe, more polite, but very clear call to action. This is where the change is, this is where the product is, this is where it is. Then moving on to Sarah, this is a great question. So I do know Sarah, she's worked in my mentorship program with me. Hi, she's coming online. She's got the universe behind her as well. I was like, I love this, Sarah. I was like, how should have done my background like that? So first of all, Sarah is a very experienced yoga teacher and has qualified as a Pilates teacher. So first of all, congratulations, Sarah. All my posts and branding and everything is yoga. I'm hoping to put one class on a week. How do I start shifting towards a new audience? Well, I think you started shifting already, because I knew you'd done this, because I saw you put a post or a story on your Instagram about your training, and I was like, oh, that's exciting. I think it's really difficult when we put ourselves out there as one person. Someone knows me as a yoga teacher. I confessed a bit of this on Monday night. Like, people know me as a yoga teacher, yoga trainer. Now I'm saying a business mentor. Look, we're human beings, right? It is like, this comes from like the advice of, you must niche down, be super niche, and get one offer and all of this malarkey. And that really works for some people, but most of us are curious human beings that are multi-passionate and have multiple offers. So I don't think anyone's going to think it's weird that you start offering Pilates, and the people that are going to come to your Pilates class will probably be the people that come into your yoga class, right? It can prompt the question, do I need to spiral down into a whole rebrand? Have you been down that route? Yeah, because this is interesting. Branding procrastination is a thing. People are, I'm going to start something new, so I need a new name, new website, new hex colors. Like, I think you can be Yoga Lazouche, Sarah, Thompson, is that right? I don't want to get your last name wrong. And that you offer yoga and Pilates. Movement is movement. That's how I would start. Over time, right? If you're like, God, the Pilates is kicking off, everyone wants more Pilates, I'm now doing more Pilates classes and yoga classes.
Pilates Lazouche.
Yes, or at that point, maybe I'll rebrand. And that my rebrand advice to it, if you ever go down this route, and I don't think you need to, because I think people know you, I would just, this is the power of your name, Sarah Thompson, Pilates and yoga teacher, movement specialist.
Oh, yes.
Because we're talking about two separate modalities. They are not. Movement is movement. There are many crossovers between the two of them. I mean, Joseph Pilates took many of the movements from yoga. And I know, as a yoga teacher who's in the past specialized in pre and postnatal yoga, I have stolen so much from Pilates. So there's a real crossover. There's nothing stopping you doing like a yoga Pilates fusion.
Yeah, yoga lattes, yeah.
Yoga lattes. I mean, oh my God. So I think it's like, it's back to that fear of like, people know me as this, and I feel like I'm pigeonholed as that. And you're like, you know what? You feel like that. Everyone else is like worrying about their own shit.